Jewish literature. Jewish literature was not created only in the Middle East but elsewhere as well, mostly in Europe and later America. Nevertheless, it is unique in comparison to both the Western and Eastern literatures. And it did not only form the basis for the modern Hebrew literature, but it also contributed to the literatures of the countries in which the Jews created their literary works. Ancient Jewish literature. Ancient Jewish literature was dominated by religious themes. The most important ancient Jewish literary work is without a doubt the Torah or the Hebrew Bible. It is thought to be written down in the 6th century BCE, although the latest evidence suggests that it could be compiled as early as the 10th century BCE. The major rabbinic work is the Mishnah, or redaction of the Oral Torah, which was written by Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi in 2020 CE. Moving on to medieval Jewish literature. Rabbinic literature dominated the medieval period as well. But both religious and secular works have been created, including ethical or Musar and philosophical texts, mystical or Kabbalistic literature, poetry, fiction, and history. During the early Middle Ages, also emerged the so-called Piyut, or Jewish liturgical poem, was flourished in the Middle East. The most prominent Piyut authors from this era include Yanai and Elazar ben Kalir. Popular Piyutim such as Adon Olam, Yigdal, were composed in the later Middle Ages. Next up, modern Jewish literature. The modern era saw continuation of the standard rabbinic literature, but it also saw the emergence of the modern Jewish literature in the real meaning of the word. A major influence on the modern Jewish literature had the Haskalah, a Jewish movement in Europe which promoted the Enlightenment ideas and put a greater emphasis on the study of secular Jewish history, as well as promoted the use of the Hebrew language. The Gold Harvest. Long ago in old Ayodhya, there lived a man named Nai Hatong, who dreamed of turning copper into gold. His wife Nang Sonsai had little faith in magic. She believed in the wealth of nature and the richness of the earth. When her husband boasted, "Someday, we will be the richest people in Ayodhya," she listened patiently. However, when all their taikal had been used for experiments, she decided something would have to be done about her husband's great expectation. She said to her husband, "Nai Hatong, you have experimented with copper in the monkey's paw, copper in lizard's tail. You have polished copper with gold stripe of fur cut from the tiger's skin. But the copper did not turn into gold. Why don't you give up this dream and go to work like other men?" Her husband said, "My child, that is not right. With each experiment, my magic has grown stronger." "My Penrai, never mind. My husband, you must do what you must do," she answered. The next day, however, she went home to see her father and asked him what to do about Nai Hatong's unreasonable search for gold. Her wise old father did not seem disturbed. He said, "Pai, go now and say nothing of this meeting. I have a plan to help your husband." The next day, Nai Hatong received an invitation to dine with father-in-law. At ginako or mealtime, Nai Hatong was there on the mat-covered floor beside the elderly gentleman. "Chai, yes, my father. I always follow the old relief. I never sit facing north when I eat. for I fear that bad luck such an action would cause. But sometimes I eat facing south because I would like to have esteem and respect." The old man smiled and nodded in agreement. A servant interrupted the conversation by placing a large tray bearing bowls of white rice, hot chicken curry, roasted turtle eggs, vegetables and numbric, a spicy sauce made from beetles and fish paste. Another tray held bowls of fresh water for washing, clothes for drying, and lime scent for perfuming the hands. The men ate from the same bowls, using only the fingers of their right hand. They did not speak very much while eating because the delicious food demanded their complete attention. The curry was spicy, yet sweet with the added milk of the coconut. The rice was fluffy and fresh from the top of the pot. The namprick bit the tongue, but it was good and made the mild milk drink more tasty by contrast. When the meal was over, Nai Hatong felt as content as a baby gibbon sitting upon his mother's lap. "Ah, we are lucky for fish in the water and rice in the land," he said. "Chai, my son, but there is more to life than good food. I have asked you to come to see me this evening because I need your help. Like you, my son, I have been looking for a way of turning copper into gold. Now I know how to do it." Nai Hatong drew in his breath and made a long whistling sound. "Oh, it's too good to be true. I can't believe it," he said. "Listen carefully, Nai Hatong. I have all things I need for the miracle except one additional ingredient. Because I am an old man, I don't think I can work hard enough and long enough to get it." "My Penrai, never mind. Father, I will get whatever you need," Nai Hatong replied. "That is not as easy as you think, my son. I must have 2 kilos of soft fuzz gathered from the underside of the banana leaf. And the fuzz must be plucked carefully from our own banana trees. Furthermore, I know the fuzz will not perform the miracle unless it comes from the tree planted when the magical words were spoken. I can say the magic words, and I can raise the banana trees. I will collect the 2 kilos of banana fuzz for you," said Nai Hatong. The old man smiled and said, "I know you can do this, my son, because I have faith in you. I will loan you the money to buy the land you will need to raise banana trees." The young man bowed low to the older. In the hearts of each of them, there was a feeling of faith and trust. Nai Hatong was determined to prepare his fields in a way which would be most pleasing to all the gods who might influence his crops. For this reason, he went to his village, Wat, and asked guidance from the priest who knew how to look at the gleaming stars and interpret the moon wisdom of the night sky. The priest's saffron robe glowed in the moonlight. His bare feet made no sound as he walked from the Wat to open court. The glittering stars seemed to light the sky as the fireflies in the darkness. The priest gazed at the stars as if they were the eyes of heaven. Nai Hatong waited patiently for the priest. The only sound he heard was the lonely call of the gecko lizard hiding in a crack of the stucco wall of the Wat. He counted the lizard's croak, Nung Song Sam, Si Ha Hok Jit. Ah, it is a rare sign of good fortune. The gecko called 7 times, bringing me good luck. The priest returned to his small, bare cell and opened a womb-folding book. He said, "Since you were born in the year of the ox, You must begin your plowing on Wednesday, the 10th day of the 4th lunar moon. Now, do not forget to begin when the sun is midway, between the horizon and the high point of noon. Chai Chai, yes, yes, I shall do as you say. The priest continued. Before this auspicious hour, you must build a shrine to the guardian spirit of the field. Fra Boom. Give him an offering of the best rice. Lay it flat on a shining green banana leaf and serve him graciously. At the north corner of your field, you must place 3 triangular white flags. As you mount them on a bamboo poles, ask the blessing of the goddess who makes the banana tree fertile with the yellow fruit. Do not forget to praise the earth goddess and do remember to ask Frafum's blessing. Ask these gods to keep hungry locusts and nibbling worms far away from fields. Is there anything else that I must do? Asked Nai Ha Tong. Chai, you will ask your village chieftain to guide your plow 3 times around the field. When this is done, again honor Frafum for the scent of incense and the beauty of flower plucked by your own hands. All shall be done exactly as you desire, said Nai Ha Tong. He followed the priest's suggestion and added one more touch of magic. With the planting of each banana tree, he uttered the special secret words given to him by his father-in-law. The gecko had predicted good luck, so Nai Ha Tong was not surprised when his banana trees grew tall, sturdy and heavy with blossoms. Not very long after, he had thousands of firm yellow bananas and myriads of shining leaves, with a soft layer of fluffy fuzz on the underside. Each morning, Nai Ha Tong gave Frafum an offering of rice from the top of the pot. Then, he carefully collected the soft fuzz from the underside of the banana leaves and stored it in a pottery jar. Each morning, his wife, Nang Song Sai, gave Frafum flowers and incense. Then, she collected the beautiful yellow bananas, took them to the market, sold them and placed her ticle in a pottery jar. After 3 lunar years had passed, Nai Ha Tong had a ½ kilo of banana fuzz. His wife had 3 pottery jars full of ticle. Strangely, Nai Ha Tong was so intent upon collecting and storing the fuzz that he had paid no attention to his wife's profitable labor. One day, Nang Song Sai's father came to ask if he would have to wait much longer for the 2 kilos of banana fuzz. When he saw the pottery jar partially full, he appeared worried. I am an old man. If you don't get more land, more banana trees, and more banana fuzz, I shall not live to see copper turned into gold. My Penrai, never mind. Father, I will borrow more money to buy more land. Then there shall be more banana trees, and I can collect even more banana fuzz, said Nai Ha Tong. Now, Nai Ha Tong and his faithful wife worked for many years. The moons rose, waxed, and waned. Days ran after days until finally the time arrived when each had accomplished a goal. Nang Song Sai had collected many jars of full ticle. Nai Ha Tong had 2 jars full of banana fuzz. As you can imagine, it was an especially happy day. Nai Ha Tong shouted to his wife, "Run and bring your father here. Today he can test his magic. If all goes well, we shall see red copper grow until it is as gold as the sun of Siam." When the old man arrived, Nai Ha Tong bowed very low before him and presented him with a treasured banana fuzz. The old man said, "Arise, my son. Today you will be a rich man." Nai Hatong trembled nervously. Little rivers of perspiration ran down his face. His fingers shook like banana leaves in the wind. The old man, on the other hand, was not in a hurry. He turned to his daughter and calmly asked, "Have you made any money from the sale of the banana?" "Oh yes, chai, my father," she said. Nai Hatong thought his father-in-law must be out of his mind. When the copper was waiting to be turned into gold, why worry about the sale of a few bananas? Nang Song Sai brought a tray piled high with golden taiko and placed it before her husband. "Aha," said her father. "Now, Nai Hatong, just look at all this money that has been made by following my directions. My son, I cannot turn copper into gold, but you and my daughter have harvested gold from the sale of your bananas. You cared for the young plants until they became trees producing delicious fruit. Is not that just as great a miracle as turning copper into gold?" Nai Hatong did not answer, but he felt like a fool. But he was a very rich fool. His clever wife knelt before him to show her love and respect. When she aroused, she said, "My husband, you are a master magician. With the help of gods you cleared land. You cared for the banana trees with the same loving care we give our son. You made the gods happy, and they rewarded you with the golden fruit of the banana trees. My chai, that is not right, my clever wife. Do not put a story under your arm and walk away with it. It is your father who is the master magician. He has made his honorable daughter and worthless son-in-law the richest people in Ayodhya." Nai Hatong looked at the meaningless pile of banana fuzz mounted high on the table, under the smiling face of his father-in-law. Right there and then, it is said, Nai Hatong mixed the banana fuzz with a little water and carefully molded a statue of the old man. "What are you doing?" asked his wife. "I am making a statue of your father. I hope our sons and our sons' sons will treasure it as an heirloom. Each time they look upon it, they will be reminded of my foolishness and your father's wisdom."